In this video, we're going to learn how to make the most of Yoast, that plugin that helps your SEO, improves your website, and gets you higher up on Google. Let's go. This is going to be a relatively quick video for you guys on how to make the most of Yoast. It even rhymes, it's great. This video I want to show you guys just a few things that you should do with Yoast when you first install it. There's a whole bunch of things you can do on SEO and improving your content, your website, and all of that stuff, but actually most of it's pretty simple, and there's just a couple of settings in Yoast that I recommend at the bare minimum that you do before you do anything else on your website, or if you haven't done them already, think about doing them now because it could really help out with your site in general. Alright, so let's jump in. The first thing you want to do is take a look at your titles and metas, which are the titles and meta descriptions in your content, and Yoast gives you the ability to choose a separator for your title. So Yoast will automatically generate a title based on your page or blog post title, then it'll put a separator, so just a little character, and then it'll usually just put your company name. So if you're going to do that, I recommend you leave it as it is, or you can use it if you want to save space on Google for other things. You could even use the dot or the vertical slash, because Google counts pixels now instead of characters. So if you want to squeeze more into your Google results to get more characters into your description of your page or your post, then it's better to use a smaller element. So that's just a quick tip. The next thing you want to do is go to your post types and just make sure that you're not indexing a whole bunch of stuff which is totally irrelevant. You can also hide the Yoast box that appears below the pages and posts. If you've used the Yoast before, you know you can do your meta description and title optimization below the posts and pages and where it appears, but it appears on absolutely everything in WordPress, and it doesn't have to. So you can turn it off here in certain elements. And a lot of plugins will create, and even themes create, extra things in WordPress, specific post types which are used for saving data and stuff, and you don't necessarily need them to be indexed by Google. Even media, for example, you can no index your media because images are indexed by Google anyway, and the media is actually a page that shows your picture. And there's no point indexing that page with the picture because the picture itself is already being indexed when it's being used in a page or a post somewhere else. So you don't need this to be seen by Google. So we can put no index on that, and then we can find any other things in here. It depends on your theme and your plugins, but you just want your pages and your posts indexed here. Pretty much everything else is generally pointless unless you have specific content that you've had created by a developer that you want indexed. So you may have events or products or other things, so don't turn those off. They're useful, but any kind of other garbage you can turn off in here. The next one is taxonomies, which is how you categorize stuff. So WordPress has tags and categories, and normally I would suggest you just turn tags off because you don't need to have Google wasting their time indexing and displaying your tags pages because they don't have anything useful on them. Sometimes category pages can come up, and if you haven't got a lot of content especially, that may be useful to leave those to Google to find, but otherwise I would no index those too. It's up to you. I leave them on normally, but you can turn them off sometimes because you're just duplicating content that Google's finding, and it isn't really helping you. Duplicate content's not going to kill you, but it's not helping you. So just we're trying to reduce here the things that Google is finding so that we're not wasting Google's time and space in Google with stuff that's not relevant. The next is archives. You may want your author archives appearing. If you want all of your authors to appear, that's up to you. I would suggest you turn off date archives here as well. And that's the last thing that I would want to do there. The next section is social. That's a really cool one as well. You can put in here all of your social media profiles and Google finds those, and if your company name or your personal brand appears when searched in Google, they often list these under the search as well. So if we go and type in here Microsoft, You can see here all the stuff that appears in what's called the knowledge graph, and underneath you'll get a lot of information, and for particular brands and stuff you'll also get the social media icons. So that's what that is good for. The next thing you want to do is make sure that the open graph data is enabled, and you can even put in here a default image and description in case you don't have an image going out with a page or a post. You can set that up so that when it's shared on Facebook and LinkedIn especially, that these are used. Generally the open graph on its own is enough to make sure that that works properly, but you can put in some defaults here as well, so that can be useful. You can also set up Twitter cards here, which is the extra stuff that appears below your Twitter posts, but you also need to set that up on Twitter, so I'm not going to go into that here. You can verify your Pinterest page here and your Google Plus business page here as well, but not super important, but you could potentially do those as well. The last thing you want to do, which was on the dashboard, and I've got another video which I will link in the top here right now, sliding across for you, is linking your website to Webmaster Tools, at least Google Webmaster Tools, or now called Search Console, and potentially even Bing. So that's just helping Google help you to index your content and tell you if there's any problems. It also gives you keywords of all your pages, a whole bunch of interesting data. So jump over and have a look at that video that I've just mentioned, and make sure that you connect your Search Console to your website, because it's super important. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is an awesome post on, or a video I should say, on how to get the most of Yoast, the stuff that you may not have thought of. It's not just the stuff below your pages and your posts that you're used to using. These are the fundamental setups to help improve your SEO. So if you'd like to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed that, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.